is available on either of those websites. It is a document that we developed for common language, common understanding around what the components of MTSS is. So it's Q&A driven. What is Tier 1? What is Tier 2? What is progress monitoring? What is a positive response to intervention? What is a poor response? If you have a positive response, what is your intervention decision? All of that type of stuff. And we developed this when our two projects of behavior and academics came together. We thought we all knew what Tier 1 was. It took us a year and a half to develop this document because we had that many differences between PBIS and academic MTSS, even though we thought it would be an afternoon's task. So that, I'm not saying that you should adopt this, but I'm saying if you want to start getting common language, common understanding around this is a tool you could use to start with. Don't reinvent the wheel. You got the wheel, now make it fit to your car, right? So let's talk about some things that are critical to the rest of our work today. This is a big idea I hope that you will consider. Looking at what happens in school as 3 behaviors, not 2. So we have academic skills. That's what kids know, understand, and do, aligned with standards. The important things they have to do, the standards tell us what it is. We're looking at them. Academic behaviors. You have in your hymnal another yellow or canary form. And it's called, guess what? Academic behaviors. I don't know. I want you to just look at this list. These are the behaviors kids have to engage instruction. They are different from the behaviors kids have to get along with each other. You have to be able to follow directions, listen. The number one academic behavior that kids lack that has the greatest impact on them engaging instruction that they don't have is asking a question. If you ask me a question, I try to answer it. But if John asks me something before, I'm thinking, what is it about what he knows and what the question is that needs to tell me how I have to respond to him? So I respond to him differently if he asks me a question than somebody else because it reflects something he either doesn't know, is curious about, or needs resolved. But what if you never ask questions in here? I would just be tossing stuff out and hoping to get lucky. On a good day, throwing it against the wall and seeing if it sticks. Kids don't know how to ask questions anymore. Other than, can I go to the bathroom? When is a field trip? Why can't we text? So these are the behaviors that we're going to look at when we say, okay, here's what we're going to be teaching tomorrow in 3rd grade in ELA. This is the instructional, the learning goal, or the progression level we're trying to get to. And we define it. Now, which of these behaviors do kids have to engage that lesson? So if we're going to have 30 minutes of instruction, we're going to divide them up into centers for guided stuff. The list is going to be very different than if they're going to do work in their seat. So we have to then look at this and say, if they don't have these, do we either change the instructional strategy or do we pre-teach the engagement skill? But it's not going to go well if the engagement behaviors that are necessary are not ones that kids have. This is the very beginning of integrating academics and behavior. We'll talk more about that as we go through the day. And then the third area is intrapersonal, social, emotional, whatever you want to call it. The big issue is breaking out academic behaviors from intra and interpersonal ones. The second issue is that this needs to be standards-based. So in your packet, you have a green form. And this is a form that guides our breaking down standards to be able to inform instruction. How many of you are comfortable with your skills in breaking down a standard into the know, understand, and do? Put your hand up if you're really comfortable doing this. All right, then I'm going to ask you to do it. It's only going to take a minute. I'm going to explain it. The CUD, know, understand, and do. We circle the nouns in this statement, and we underline the verbs. The nouns are what kids need to know, and the verbs are what they need to do. So I want you to look at this green sheet, and I want you to circle the nouns, and I want you to underline the verbs. I'll give you 1 minute to do that. Go.